Welcome to this series. We're going to be talking about the great transition that we are living in right now. It's that change between one paradigm and the next paradigm that we usually aren't able to describe very well until we're beyond it. And in the middle of it, we simply recognize that we feel overwhelmed, stressed. We might have body sensations, um, signs and signals, hints that are cueing us that we are in the midst of this change and that things are not the same way as what they used to be. And whenever we encounter uncertainty or volatility and ambiguity, complexity, we all have a very innate human response because we are wired for predictability. And so, in this series, what I want to offer to you is more of an archetypal, intuitive way of engaging with this great change that we are in the midst of, because our rational minds are not going to make sense of it. It's not going to be able to be pinned down in a neat way or put into a box in which we could say really comfortably, I know who I am and I know where I'm going and I know what's going to happen. Instead, the gift of more intuitive archetypal connection is that we start to enter a framework. It gives us that sense of globalized security or stability that we're somehow part of a framework and that we are entering into the stream of change that is starting to change us. It might be the difference between standing on the shoreline and watching a boat go downstream versus actually getting into the boat, if the boat was the archetype, so that we can find our place. We can orient to even a temporary identity that gives us a sense of solidness and security in the midst of rapid change. And I want to say very clearly that the tendency, though, is that we want to kind of cling on to the archetype and say, well, this is who I am. And then it's all buttoned up. And that's not what these intuitive archetypes are about. Instead, they are lenses and reflections. They are mirrors back to us to help us get a sense of location for where we are right now, what might be called forward in us to get a sense of the emerging leader that is being evoked within us. Many of you may feel like you are being tapped on the shoulder, that there is a call being issued on the inside to lead in a different way right now. And it's not going to use the usual skill sets that you have cultivated for the past 10, 15, 20, 30 years. It's just not, because we are entering a new phase in terms of the evolution of our consciousness, the evolution of humanity, that is going to call for skills that are not skills at all. Instead, it is a way of being that is already deep within us. And yet, that tap on the shoulder that you may feel is because it's being called to come forward in a way that is vibrant, alive, and that it is the primary lens of your leadership. It is how you show up. You will know that you are leading or leaning into emergent leadership if you feel uncomfortable, if you feel disoriented, if you feel that sense of discomfort or itch on the inside. You may even tell yourself, I don't know what I'm doing, and I just don't know where I'm going. You are not confused. Instead, that honest, authentic, even humble approach of acknowledging that you do not know how to lead anymore in rapid change is the exact positioning that you need in order to adopt and actually embody one of these intuitive archetypes that will give you the structure that you need to start to move forward in terms of your leadership journey. And I want to repeat that in a slightly different way. We often know when something isn't working anymore. And you are probably at that point where you know that something's falling apart. You know that the usual structure doesn't fit. It's almost like outgrowing old clothes, and it just creates dissonance on the inside. And yet, you do not know where you are going and what it's going to look like on the other side. And that's where these archetypes can be the bridge, the mechanism to support you to move from one place to the other, to develop that sense of who you are and how you're called to be, that is primary a state of being, not a skill set to adopt, but a way in which you show up that is necessary to develop that arc to lead between what is old and what is emerging, what is new. So, in this series, I invite you to actually experience it in a highly embodied way, to not just think about the new leader that you are becoming. Instead, to notice where it is popping up in your experience already, where you've had circumstances, these coincidences that are not coincidences at all. They're serendipities and synchronicities where something has dropped into your lap, where there's been a spontaneous thought that has emerged that is giving you the breadcrumbs that you need to make this shift between an old paradigm of leadership and the emergent new one. In this way, you will not be thinking about how to lead. You will already be leading along the way. And that is the difference between learning or constructing a skill or a trait of leadership versus embodying an innate sense of being that is how you lead, no matter what the world looks like, no matter what comes your way, and one that anticipates, predicts, and prepares for the future paradigm that is already coming together all around us. So, in this upcoming series, I invite you to again listen with open ears, listen with an expanded heart, with a sharp, wise mind, and with curiosity for how you may be called to lead between what is slowly or really quickly falling away and what is coming together as a new opportunity, a radical change in our world, one that is necessary and timely, and that you engage from a place of knowing within that you are called to be here right now for a particular time and purpose. And that tap on the shoulder that you feel is a deeper, wiser inner call to lead in a new way, one that creates vision, hope, and actually manifests a new world.